In Greek mythology, few names evoke as much intrigue and fear as Medusa. Known as the Gorgon with snakes for hair and a gaze that could turn anyone to stone, Medusa has become one of the most iconic figures in ancient lores. But who was Medusa, really? Was she always the monster depicted in myths, or is there more to her story? Medusa's life was forever altered by the whims of the gods. What began as a life of devotion and purity ended in tragedy, transforming her into a figure both feared and misunderstood. Today, we'll journey through the life of Medusa, from her origins as a mortal woman to her role as a fearsome creature of legend. To truly understand Medusa's story, we must start at the beginning of her origins. In Greek mythology, Medusa was one of the three Gorgon sisters, born to the primordial sea deities Phorcys and Ceto. These ancient gods were known to rule over the mysteries and dangers of the sea, making their offspring a mix of beauty and the untamed forces of nature. Unlike her sisters, Steno and Uriel, who were immortal and monstrous from birth, Medusa was mortal, and unlike her siblings, she was known for her incredible beauty. In early accounts of her story, Medusa was described as a radiant maiden with golden hair and a charm that captivated anyone who saw her. Her beauty became both a blessing and ultimately a curse. Medusa devoted her life to serving as a priestess in the temple of Athena, the goddess of wisdom and war. As a priestess, Medusa was bound by sacred vows of purity and chastity. Her devotion to Athena was unwavering, and her life seemed destined for serenity and purpose. But her beauty also caught the attention of many, including those whose desires would lead to her tragic downfall. Medusa's devotion to Athena was unwavering, but fate took a cruel turn when Poseidon, the powerful god of the sea, set his sights on Medusa. According to myth, Poseidon, captivated by Medusa's beauty, pursued her relentlessly. One fateful day, in an act of defiance and desire, Poseidon raped Medusa within the sacred temple of Athena. As desecrating her temple, Poseidon should have been punished for his actions, but as an Olympian god, he was beyond reproach. Instead, Athena directed her fury toward Medusa. In a fit of rage, Athena cursed Medusa, transforming her once beautiful features into a monstrous visage. Her golden hair became a writhing mass of venomous snakes, and her eyes gained the horrifying power to turn anyone who gazed into them to stone. Medusa was then cast out from society, banished to a remote island of Sarpedon, where she would live alone as a monster. Banished to a desolate island, Medusa lived in solitude, yet her story wasn't over. A new chapter would begin when a young hero named Perseus came into her life. While Medusa lived in isolation, her name and legend continued to grow, striking fear into the hearts of mortals. Her story eventually reached the ears of a young hero named Perseus, the son of Zeus and the mortal woman Danae. Perseus's journey to Medusa's island was not born out of chance but of necessity, a dangerous mission imposed upon him by King Polydectes. Polydectes, ruler of the island of Seriphos, desired Danae, Perseus's mother, for himself. To rid himself of Perseus, the king cunningly sent the young hero on a seemingly impossible quest to bring back the head of Medusa, the feared Gorgon. Though the task seemed suicidal, Perseus had the favor of the gods on his side. Athena and Hermes came to his aid, providing him with divine tools to accomplish his mission. Athena gave Perseus a polished bronze shield that acted as a mirror, allowing him to avoid looking directly at Medusa. Hermes gifted him a sword sharp enough to cut through her scales, as well as winged sandals to help him travel swiftly. With their guidance, Perseus made his way to the island where Medusa lived. It was a desolate place, littered with the stone remains of those who had dared to face the Gorgon and failed. Perseus knew that direct confrontation with Medusa would be his doom. Instead, he used Athena's shield to guide him, watching her reflection as he approached. Using the reflection in the shield to aim, Perseus severed Medusa's head with a single, precise stroke. From her neck sprang two mythical beings, Pegasus, the winged horse, and Chrysaor, a golden warrior, her children born from her union with Poseidon. Though Perseus had succeeded in his quest, the story of Medusa did not end there. Even in death, her severed head retained its power. and Perseus would go on to use it as both a weapon and a symbol of his triumph.